I'm a fighter, always have been. In the ring and in business. 30 years of battles, rising, falling, rebuilding. I've made money, I've lost money, but it wasn't until I created Zapata Systems was I able to really climb my way out. But the toughest fight, it wasn't physical. It was watching money walk out the door week after week, whether to vendors charging too much or labor not justifying the revenue. That money stress, it doesn't always stay at work. It follows you home, turns into arguments, cold dinners, and broken peace. And then there's the IRS, back taxes, deadlines, pressure you can't punch your way out of. Zapata System shows you what you're really paying. It gives you control, leverage, and savings. This isn't about surviving. It's about winning. You're in a fight. Start acting like it. Zapata Systems. Fight smarter.
All right, guys, welcome to Movie Talk. We got another stacked week here. We're going to talk a little bit about Zombieland 3, Toy Story, and some Superman news that I have, and Superman 2 stuff. But before we start that, let's introduce the team. We got from DC Unbox, Dave DC Caleri. What's up, Dave?
Hello, it's Happy Wednesday. Let's get it.
Let's get it. And of course, from the writer's room, screenwriter Rob Alvarenga. What's up, Robbie?
Gentlemen, welcome to Teaser Week.
Teaser work is right. So let's get everything started here. The first thing I want to talk about is I was actually a Toy Story fan. Love the Toy Story movie. And now they just dropped a teaser for Toy Story 5. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that, obviously. Is it a little bit too late with this stuff going? I thought they ended it on 3 pretty well. But Dave, I'm going to start with you. What did you think about this Toy Story 5 teaser?
So it looks interesting. I feel like I'm not saying it's too late in terms of, because like kids have had tablets for a minute. So seeing as LilyPad is the new adversary, it seems like it could have came out a few years ago, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be any good. I didn't see Toy Story 4, and now I'm probably going to watch it on Disney just because obviously the first one is fantastic. It's a classic. The second one is probably my favorite. I don't know why, it just is. And I thought 3 was a great send-off for what it was. But listen, 4 did very well, and 5's coming out. And my nephews, who are all 11 years old and under, they've started this thing now where they're just running around the house like animals, and they go, "Andy's coming," and they just fall to the ground.
That's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Toy Story's almost 30 years old at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
It's still around, and I think that says something about the property in general. The original cast, because there's a lot of people from the original cast that aren't with us anymore. Jim Varney, Don Rickles, it defined Pixar, and pretty much any other Pixar movie that's come out since then, they've all been one-shot deals, which is fine because they're all high quality. But like I know Cars went maybe to 2 or 3. They had 2 sequels. I didn't see them. I don't think they were received very well. I don't think Disney has a really great track record with sequels in the animated, whether it's classic or the Pixar stuff. And this is still going, and it's going strong. So it's probably going to be pretty decent.
Yeah, probably. Rob, what do you think about the Toy Story 5 teaser?
I thought it's actually a very effective teaser. I mean, Dave kind of mentioned it already about the whole idea of tablets being the new toys. That concept's been out for a while, but this is the thing that I do like about this the Toy Story franchise. And each one of these movies, one thing that I always admire is that they don't make these movies without having really something to say, in their messaging, in the storyline, because it's always, tying back to childhood stuff that we actually could identify growing up, with our favorite toys and how we grow up, how we grow apart from these toys, and how these toys kind of keep something special about us and say something about us. And I think every single one of these movies have done a really good job of, conveying something that really touches home for all of us. So with the teaser, I mean, without seeing more what the story's about, but kind of like, you kind of get what it's going to be. It's the first they really have something to say about technology because it's not really something that's really been brought up in this kind of franchise. How growing up, I had Transformers, Masters of the Universe, all that stuff. These were like toys, so it kind of like was very relatable when you see Toy Story, growing up. But now we're in a digital age, and toys are not really the same thing. It's like everything is like on a tablet, so
Mhm.
it makes sense that they're gonna have something to say in this storyline, and it probably has a lot to say with like how this generation receives that kind of enjoyment versus the older generation with toys. And there's definitely a real in-depth story in there. It's going to be good because honestly, the team behind Toy Story franchise, I mean, they know what they're doing and they really take quite a lot of care about their characters and what the story they want to convey to the audience.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably do a Toy Story 6 with possibly doing like collectibles versions of Woody and them. Like we have collectibles and stuff, a good storyline because seems to be going that path. The technology one's a good idea because that's what everyone's playing with. Everyone has that. Knows how to
Yeah.
do it. It's funny
And,
actually. I had one of my nephews when he was first born. He went up to like a computer screen and was just like touching it, thinking that that's, these guys know how to do that. So
yeah,
they don't
second
play with
nature
toys
stuff.
anymore. Yeah, they don't play with toys anymore. Well, I'm gonna
Mhm.
watch it too, Toy Story 5 when it comes out. So it's another classic. All right, guys. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually a nice scary movie there. That was Zombieland 3. And the director, Ruben Fleischer, said by 2029, he's expecting to do another one. I thought the second one wasn't that good, and I thought it was going to end there. But apparently, no. He says that he's going to start moving it, and in 2029, we're going to see it. Rob, did you see Zombieland, the first and second one? What did you think about the third one?
I did watch both of them. I liked them a lot. I mean, being a horror guy, you really look for certain like, nuances when it comes to like these horror movies, especially gonna do something like horror comedy, because you don't want to make fun of the genre completely, like just make it just not take it seriously. The cool thing about Zombieland, that this not franchise, is that they never really like shied away from the gore and from the real like zombie action that you kind of like really look for any of these type of movies. Then you throw in the actual storyline, the characters, the chemistry, and the actual the laughs. It's a great mixture. Just looking back, Zombieland, for a while, I just thought, it's one of these movies that was just like lightning in a bottle. They just nailed it. When I heard that sequel's coming out, I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna, either top it or make it just as good as the first one. 'Cause the first one was excellent. To my surprise, I mean, I liked it. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but it didn't detract from it. It didn't like really just completely bomb it or just like just flush the whole franchise down the toilet. People still, actually received it quite well. And the fact that the team, including the actors, want to do it again. I read somewhere in the article when Fleischer was actually announcing part three, they were saying that like this is like a little timeline that they kind of like have for the franchise. Like every 10 years there'll be a new Zombieland movie. And I don't know how far they're going to take that, but they just noticed that Zombieland 2 came out exactly 10 years after the first one, and this one in 2029 is going to be 10 years
Oh,
from
wow.
part two. So I thought that was pretty cool. That means that they have like a concept of a vision. Hopefully they have more than that,
Mhm.
but I gotta trust them that they know, that they have, again, have something to say, something to add on to this franchise, so that part three is not just like derivative of like the first two. I like this cast. I like the story arcs of all these characters and how they've grown. I'm not sure how they end it because the thing with zombie movies is that they never end well. And you're gonna see some people that you love die because that's just how it goes in that genre.
Mhm.
So if that happens, I'm gonna be sad about it. But at the same time, as a horror fan, as a zombie horror fan, it makes sense. And as long as they do justice by the characters themselves in a real ending of their arc, I'm all for it. I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be at least funny.
Yeah, I remember Bill Murray was pretty funny in it. Bill Murray was
Oh,
pretty good in
awesome.
it. Yeah,
Classic.
yeah. Dave, did you see those Zombielands? Do you have any thought on those?
I loved them. I loved the first one, and I thought the second one was good. Um, it's as Rob was saying, like they leaned into the gore and everything else. it's almost like this is everything that any of the Resident Evil movies would have wanted to be at some point, you know?
Yeah.
Like they just kind of got the whole zombie bit right. And there was just it was the perfect mix of comedy and the right mix of horror, because I think they were both rated R.
Yeah.
I think the first one was surprising. I think I don't know what, because that came out what 2009.
Yeah.
I don't know what the what the climate was at the time, if that was thought it was going to be a hit or was just like, hey, let's just do this thing and see what happens. But I was surprised at how much I really liked it. You know, there was enough story behind the characters, enough character development where you like actually cared about these guys.
Yeah.
And what was the time? The time, not in actual time between the first and second one, in the movie storyline. How much time was there between the first and the second one? It wasn't 10 years. It was maybe.
I think it was 5.
No, yeah, I was like, yes, it's about that. It's about half
About
that.
5 years, I thought. Like
Yeah,
5.
so I thought it went fine. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing their other halves at one point. It was just surprising. It was surprising that they were still able to kind of do the same thing, push it forward a little better. Didn't feel like a retread, and I'm not really sure where they can take it. You know, I would assume they're gonna try to evolve the story into something where it's like we've actually found more people, maybe rebuilding somewhere, something like that. Because you kind of have to raise the stakes, I guess, a little bit with what you do zombie wise with like a big bad or something like that. And you know, I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but I'll be interested. I mean, I guess I can hold my excitement for another 4 years, but
Yeah, right.
but, I think it'll be good. And of course, after the first one, you know, Bill Murray was great. You do get, you get a bunch of Ghostbusters references.
Yep, you do.
So, you know, they're paying homage to one of the OGs of the horror comedy genre.
Yeah, I know box office wise, the second one didn't do too well, and that's why I'm surprised they are doing a third one. But who knows? You know, we'll see what happens.
At this point, I feel like the way the climate in overall has changed between what studios are spending. Like if you're Tom Cruise, you're going to get your 150, 200, $250,000 million budget. But other than that, I mean, I still feel studios are trying to figure out where they're going with budgets, ticket sales prices, and they're still trying to figure out how exactly does streaming work for everybody.
Yeah, the streaming stuff. You know,
And you got to remember too. Also, historically speaking, horror movies in general are very profitable, and the fact that you have kind of like a franchise here, you know, the budget doesn't have to be that crazy. You know, basically the major budget money's going to be allocated to the salaries, obviously the production design, whatever stuff like that, but it's not going to be anything crazy. So it's more than not just doable. I think they know that if this thing comes out, it's going to be profitable. It's going to do well.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait and see. 2029 is still a long way away, so we'll wait and see. All right, guys. The next thing we're going to talk about is Moana. We had a teaser that actually dropped. And it's a very popular, animated series. They did 2 of them, right? The first one and the second one, right? And they both did extremely well. So we had a teaser for live action, and I was expecting to see The Rock a little bit more, but they're going to save him probably for the end. Very small, very short, but it did the job. I'm sure it's going to be a big hit, because people love that stuff. Rob, what did you think about that little teaser?
I mean, it did its job. My thing is that it's a live action carbon copy, like almost frame by frame of the animated movie. Like every single scene that you saw in that teaser ripped right out of the animated one. So, they didn't add anything else. They're kind of like banking on, like, if you liked it in cartoon form, you're going to love it in live action.
Yeah.
I guess that's a selling point.
I guess.
I mean, is that going to work? I don't know. I mean, lately, these track records with these live action adaptations of these animated classics have not been great. You have the star power, you're going to have The Rock behind this thing. So I'm assuming they're going to bank on that kind of name brand to bring in people. But it looks good. But honestly, you could tell by my kind of like tone, it's like it's nothing impressive about it. Honestly, if you saw the animated movie,
Yep.
you kind of know more or less what you got to expect in the live action version, and it looks like they're not deviating at all from the
Yep.
animated version. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be live people in the car, based on a cartoon movie.
Yeah. It's pretty much shot by shot. Same
That
thing.
literally.
Dave, what did you think of that little teaser?
I actually didn't watch it, but what I can say is Disney has a terrible track record of these live action adaptations of their animated stuff. They shit the bed every time. I don't know why they're still doing it.
That's true. I don't know. I guess there's a
people hated the Lion King. Pinocchio made you want to poke your eyes out. I absolutely loved the first Lilo and Stitch animated, and I wanted to give the live one a shot just because I love the first one so much.
Mhm.
I have not gotten around to it, but to everybody's point, it's like if you're doing shot for shot recreations with like a different voice cast, because some of the charm of these movies on the animated is the voice cast.
100%.
You watch them enough times, and that voice is now the character for you. And to have different things, I just feel like it doesn't play as well. And for some of the things that are more fantastical, the pure old school animation plays in your favor. CG is what it is, and yeah, I'm sure the Lion King visually looked fantastic, but it just doesn't play the same. It doesn't play the same like when you have a cute Simba being held over the rock. It's just not the same. And, they'll do this. Will it do numbers? I actually don't even know. Like I wouldn't sit there and be like, people are going to go see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I really don't have a feel for whether this thing's really going to attract the audience that they really want to attract. I mean,
is it going to have a decent opening weekend? Sure. Will it be better than the Running Man's opening weekend? I don't know. Maybe not.
Thanks.
Thanks. Well, we'll have to see. I don't know. I think it's July 1st it comes out. They were saying.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's strategic enough where 4th of July, you're gonna get ticket sales regardless.
Yeah.
But for a movie like that, even though in this climate, it's very much if you don't have a huge opening weekend, by the time week 2 or 3 rolls around, you're like, you're out.
It's done.
You're on streaming, which is sad. Which is sad. I remember, I think I was watching the movies. I finally started watching the movies that made us on Netflix, and obviously I watched Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and Die Hard. Ghostbusters was like at number 1 for like 17 weeks.
Yes.
17 weeks. Like that's unheard of today. A movie would, no matter how it's doing, a movie's never going to make that much time in the theater.
Nope. They go right to streaming right away. As soon as it comes out, boom, boom, boom. It's gone right on. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see in July how that does, and we'll wait and see. All right. The next big news, obviously, Superman Man of Tomorrow. Now, we kind of already speculated Brainiac was going to be the villain. And now it comes to, there it is. Brainiac is the villain. James Gunn has even confirmed it himself. Now, I also heard today dropping that there is a rumor Wonder Woman will make her first appearance in Superman Man of Tomorrow. That's what's going on today. I heard that. John Campea actually mentioned it also. So I know it's possibly true because when John normally knows his stuff.
The flick pick?
What?
The flick pick?
Yeah, John Campea. So
there it is.
Yeah. So what I think, obviously, now they're saying rumor who will be Brainiac. Now there is now another rumor saying David Bautista is in the early runnings to be Brainiac. Now, him and James Gunn have a great relationship. That's obvious. I want to start with you, Dave, because I've seen a lot of people not like this pick. He's a good actor, David Bautista. He's really coming to his own. But people don't like this. I hear a lot of woke stuff going back and forth. Dave, what do you think about David Bautista being Brainiac?
Are you sure the Saudis aren't going to be Brainiac?
Yeah, no kidding.
No kidding, right?
Oh my goodness. So listen, but clearly Bautista, we've talked about Dave Bautista on the show before, and he really has increased his range over the years. I thought he was great as Drax, and clearly he works well with Gunn. So that getting him to do what Gunn wants him to do that's a no-brainer. I don't understand how getting Bautista as Brain in this movie is woke?
I don't know. These
What?
people are crazy. Are crazy.
Makes no
online.
sense.
People are going crazy online with this.
Woke in so much as like it's a good decision, you know.
Yeah.
Like you kind of, I'd be interested to see his take on it, see what he can do. It definitely would be a departure for him because yes, he's been a superhero before, but Drax was very much a character player. You know, he didn't really have he wasn't the linchpin of any of the stories. You know, he played big roles, but you know, if you removed him from the Guardians movies, they still kind of would have been okay. So this would be a really big role for him and give him a chance to just really solidify what he's capable of. I have no problem with this.
Yeah,
And as we've seen with certain castings that you're like, what? You know, we go back to Heath Ledger. You can even look at whenever Gal Gadot was announced as the first Wonder Woman. I don't know if that was received well or not, but I believed her. I believed her as the character. You know what I mean? So people can do. You know, they're actors. They're professionals. Like this is what they're paid to do.
Yeah, I like David Bautista as Brainiac, and to me, it makes sense. And him and Gunn work really well together. Rob, what do you think about this possible pick that Dave Bautista could be Brainiac?
I don't see how it could not work with Dave Bautista. I mean, you think about the character of Brainiac, right? So I mean, and I'm sorry, I mean, based on whatever version of Brainiac Gunn is going to go with more, but we could be confident in assuming that there's going to be a lot of CGI, a lot of maybe practical effects with Bautista, as this character that's going to be almost unrecognizable. The only thing that'll be recognizable about him will be his voice, and his voice, to me, you put some sound effects, some bass into that thing, it could sound pretty damn terrifying. I could totally see that working for this character because he is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what people are thinking in their heads what this is going to look like. First of all, we don't even have the design of Brainiac yet. So, obviously it's got to do with casting, but once Gunn has his guy, you're going to see these designs come online, and then it's going to be clicking oh, okay, you know what? You're going to see the actors somewhat, but this is the type of character that's he's a cyborg / alien / he has a lot of things going on, and so whoever's going to be the casted in this role is going to be damn near unrecognizable. And Dave Bautista. I mean, look, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought he was pretty terrifying in Dune.
Yeah,
In his character, he looked terrifying. He looked like he was just unhinged at all point. And if he could give you a little bit of that into Brainiac, what part of this does this not work? I think it's going to be fine. James Gunn knows what he's doing with these things. Yeah, he has his usual guys that he goes back to his creative tribe, but it works. There's nothing to suggest that any of the people that he usually rolls with in these movies that they don't come through.
Yep, and I think it's a great pick if he is cast as Brainiac, which they say it might happen. I think it's a great pick. I really do. I like it.
I think there's there may be people who want it to be like the leader in Captain America, and what was the doctor's name in Suicide Squad with the things?
Oh, Thinker, the Thinker.
The
Thinker, right? Wasn't it the Thinker?
Thinker or the Tinkerer or something like that?
It was the Thinker. So there's a chance that people just want some of these skinny, sciencey, outlandish characters, and I get that, but who's to say that that's what Gunn is even going for? If we want a villain who can be a true foil for Superman, because we haven't really had anybody for Superman outside of Lex Luthor.
Yep.
In the movies, so this is a great opportunity to just give us something different, give us something that we're not expecting, or that
right. And you can't have Zod, every other movie, as the only superpower being that can take on Superman. Brainiac can definitely take on Superman, and maybe you need a guy that looks that intimidating. I mean, why not?
And clearly, we know Gunn knows how to go to the deep cuts, and Brainiac's not a deep cut, but for the general public. They'll be like, who is this guy? So this falls right in line with what Gunn's been doing and trying to do. So I have all the faith in the world. This guy's going to do a good job.
Yeah. And part of the story is that Lex and Superman are supposed to team up in this Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Right.
Which makes sense. They're going to need Lex's brain to figure out against probably Brainiac. And, but like I've been hearing, Wonder Woman's supposed to make an appearance in this. I don't know. That's what's going on. John Campea dropped it, and he's pretty good and right on with stuff. And he's a friend. So I kind of think it might happen. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know who's the casting, but that's what they're saying. No, we'll wait and see. All right, guys. Well, we're going to take a quick break and just listen to our sponsor. We'll be right back.
The code never
Hold on
changes.
1 second.
That's why Straight Outta Jersey has partnered up with the Cosa Nostra brand. Not just a name, but a code you will wear on your chest. From the streets to the mic, we carry the same message. Respect is earned. Loyalty is everything. And silence is sacred.
All right, guys, we're back. We have the fan questions that just came in, and they all came in this week. A bunch of them came in. So this one, ready? This one is for you, Dave. And this was from Vigo. Hey,
Vigo, yes.
What GB song do you like more, On Our Own from GB2 or Ray Parker Ghostbusters song? I lean toward On Our Own for some reason. Great content.
Yeah, so it's interesting because the original Ray Parker Jr. song is great. Everybody knows it, and all the first time reactions I saw on YouTube this Halloween season, people are like, I've never seen Ghostbusters, but I know that song. So the song on its own stands, it is what it is. The Bobby Brown song I really like, and
Me too.
It kind of stands on its own as its own song. Like, yes, it has some lyrical ties to Ghostbusters, but if you weren't really paying attention, you'd just be like, "Oh, this is a great Bobby Brown tune from the late '80s, early '90s." So
Yeah.
they both have their own thing, but as a standalone song, I really dig the Bobby Brown thing.
Yeah, me too. I dig the Bobby Brown.
He's got a second song on that soundtrack too.
Did he? I didn't know that. Did he?
We're back. It's a little more heavy-handed, I think, with the Ghostbusters lyrics, but I mean, most of the songs on that soundtrack are. But listen, Bobby Brown, kind of went down in flames, but it that album, Don't Be Cruel. That's a great record.
Yeah.
My Prerogative. Don't Be Cruel. Yeah, that's every little step. Every little step. Yeah, that was
great. That's a great record, man. It's a great
that
record.
is great. That is,
I love it.
yeah, very good. Good stuff. Okay. So what about you, Rob? What did you like? On Our Own or Ghostbusters?
I mean, I'm old school. I like the Ghostbusters thing. I remember singing it around the block in the Bronx, and just with all my friends just going up and down the block just singing that song. So for me, nostalgic and just the memories alone, that's going to have a special place in my heart.
Okay. All right. Next question. This is for you, Rob. Bobby R. from Hillsdale, New Jersey said, screenwriter Rob, what makes a great performance, the actor or the writing?
Oh, man, that's a tough one, man, because the thing is that I think you notice more the great acting sometimes more than the actual writing. I see the other way around. But put it this way, a great actor can do a lot with a crappy script. I mean, you could think of movies where it's just like, this actor just did so much heavy lifting, and the movie sucks, but it's not his fault. So no, but I think in my heart, I think it's the writing, because if you get the writing right, and you have an actor that gets it, that gets what you're trying to convey in a set scene or whatever, or what you want the character to be portrayed, and they could touch something in themselves to bring out that character to life. That has everything to do with writing. That's, again, writing is that's the blueprint. It has to start there. If you don't have a good solid blueprint, you're kind of like saying everybody else off a failure. So an actor, a great acting performance, it's really reserved only for the greats, to be quite honest. Not everybody could, do that, pull off something on the crappy script. So for me, it has to start with the writing. The writing will lend to the performance. And of course, you got to have a good director that knows how to convey that to their actors to get the best performance possible.
Yep, 100%. I think so too. All right, the next one is from Ezra Miller's Dead Career. From New York. I just heard Snyderverse is on its way back. Do you guys do you guys think it will happen? Will I be employed?
I love it.
So, Ezra Miller's dead career.
I don't listen.
Dave,
I watch a lot of
that was an
stuff.
email I got from somebody, just to let you know.
I watch a lot of stuff that's in our wheelhouse, and I gotta say, we probably have some of the best viewer questions.
Oh my God, hands down. Oh, that's great.
Don't bring up. There's a lot of them I don't even put up. There's too many to go through. So Ezra Miller's dead career, New York. He says, "I just heard Snyderverse on his way back. Do you guys think it will happen? Will I be employed?" So, Dave, what do you think?
So even though I don't think Snyderverse is happening, because first of all, everyone's off doing other things. Like I read something today, or I don't know, maybe something one of you guys sent me, where it's like everyone's coming back. Affleck's kind of up in the air, and like Ezra Miller, man, what? None of this is happening. None of this is happening. Gal Gadot, she's already gone. Did we forget Momoa is going to be Lobo? Like there are like legit announcements been made of what these people are doing. Would I think if something like this happened a couple years ago, like shortly after Cavill was like, "I'm back as Superman," I fooled you.
Yeah,
interested, but I really have a feeling that he's just kind of moved on from that, and especially because we've already had another movie outside of the Snyderverse. I understand that people have correlate Zack Snyder posting DCEU content on whatever his social media outlets are. I don't really see that as anything other than like, yeah, these are the $1 million bangers I made over the last couple of years. I don't think it's indicative of anything. And listen, he made some really crappy Star Wars movies over the last couple of years. So I don't really feel he's interested in coming back to this. Now, and if someone else was interested in taking some of the direction he was trying to go and putting their spin on it, I mean, I guess, but then don't call it the Snyderverse. And guess what? Gunn's already doing that. Like everything about this just is stupid.
What about you, Rob? What do you think?
Well, there's a couple of things that I mean, you know, I would, my inclination is that probably not, but there's a couple of things that I cannot ignore. Warner Brothers / Discovery is up for sale. They're really, really trying to make this thing happen. And, you know, the fact that they have a conglomerate group that involves Saudis, and Saudis have like just ungodly amounts of money that they just love to just, you know, throw around. So the fact that that is an actual possibility, it could open up a lot of things. Now, logistic wise, I totally get it. But the thing that I always think about too, when it comes to Saudis, especially not lately, you know, they hijack golf. You know, they have this like, you know, Saudi league now that they attracted all these big name golfers and just threw a bunch of money at them, like, come play at us. And, you know, so they literally hijacked golf and grabbed all the big names. So I guess they're thinking is that they could do the same exact thing here. And I mean, again, it all depends on the sale, because if Warner Brothers Discovery is sold, I mean, everything is, you know, is up for grabs, including James Gunn's, you know, like leadership. Who's to say the new owners just don't like Gunn for some reason? Maybe they are, you know, Snyder maniacs or whatever, and they're going to try and shove this down everybody's throats because they can. You know, I'm not a big fan of this, to be quite honest. Snyder, I mean, there was a time that I was a big fan of his, but his track record lately, plus the whole post with the, you know, the pics and whatever online about, you know, the Snyderverse, is him trying to stay relevant, to be quite honest. That's my opinion. You know, it just doesn't feel like this is like an organic thing that this is going to be a, you know, it's going to happen. But when money's involved, especially this kind of money, you can't ignore it.
Yeah. You think Cavill would actually be Superman, then get, you know, let go, come back in Black Adam, then, oh yeah, next movie, and then get let go again? You think he wants to deal with that?
I think he's got more integrity than that, to be quite honest. I would think. But again, you know, money sometimes talks, you know, it could change a lot of people's mind.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
I think everyone's got a little bit more integrity than like, hey, let's do this because these guys, it's like the kid in the toy, like, I want that. And it just ends up being a mess, a total mess.
I think the Snyder cut got fans like, oh, we got this out now, we can get it come back. I think that's what started all this now. Hey, we got our movie. Now let's get this. You know, we got our Justice League.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years ago, and not a major release, by the way. You know,
The original cut of the Justice League is almost a decade old at this point.
Yeah.
And while I enjoyed the Snyder Cut for what it was, did we really need, between both movies, 6 hours and like $400 to $500 million for just like, it was fine.
Yeah.
Like it's just
exactly.
I understand people have certain feelings about it, but if you really, really look at it, it wasn't that good.
No.
Man of
Took me
Steel,
3 days to get to that thing.
people love Man of Steel. It's fine. Some people love Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Fine. The first Wonder Woman I thought was very good. It wasn't exceptional. It was very good. It was surprising. The second one was the turd that just won't go down the toilet when you flush.
Yeah. Yep.
Facts.
The first Aquaman was better than I expected. I don't know if that means it was good or not, just better than I expected. And the second one was also like, oh, what are we doing? It's like they stopped caring.
Yeah.
One of the best movies that came out of that whole period was Blue Beetle, and I don't even know what side of the fence that's on. That's technically part of Gunn's universe, right?
Yep, that's Gunn's.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah. So everything that's been done under Safran and Gunn over the short period of time they've been in charge is, in my opinion, done much, much better than everything the Snyderverse was giving us.
I agree, 100%. I don't even think Ben Affleck had mentioned he just want to put the suit on and go to that training again. So I don't think he's.
Yeah,
I think he's burnt out. He's burnt out over this, man. How many times been burnt on superhero movies between Daredevil and Batman? He's like, no, it's just, he's got to believe, like, you know what? It's just not in the cards for me.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
love a solo Batfleck movie, but I don't think he's interested in doing it. We're still waiting on the Batman 2. Like, there's so many things out there. There's no real reason to go back to this at all.
Yep. 100%. So Ezra Miller, it looks like your career is going to stay down.
Stay creepy, brother.
All right, we got one last one here. This one from Dave from New Jersey says, should studios keep making legacy sequels or let the classics stand alone?
I think it really depends. Obviously I think people ask me this because of Ghostbusters, but I feel if you do it right, like Ghostbusters is one of those properties where the property in itself, the IP can exist, and we've seen how you can push the narrative forward with new characters, keeping some ties to the past, but still moving the story forward. I think if you can do that in a smart and entertaining way, it's all right. But at some point, like I don't need to see Bill Murray suit up again. I don't need to see Dan Aykroyd can show up and be like the occult reference guy. Like, stick him in his bookstore. Ray, this is what's happening. What do we do? And he goes to his books, and we see Ernie Hudson's been cast as he's bankrolling everything. Like these classic characters had to have transitioned into other facets of the franchise, and in my opinion, it works. So if you can do that, great. And you're also telling different stories. Not everything's always like a sequel. Like, you had to see the last movie to know what happens in the next movie. So, there's a smart way to do that. It's not going to work for every franchise, obviously. So I would, if you have like a real classic, just let it be. Because then you also run the risk of just alienating the entire fan base if you make a stinker. Yep. Like, I feel at some point in our lifetimes we're going to see some remake of Back to the Future, and because of the time in which it was made, like if you said Back to the Future in 2025, we go back to 1995. It's not that big of a culture shock. Yeah. Like, the way it was done perfectly for the time period. There's no reason to do that again. And if you just remade it like frame for frame, well, then I have Michael J. Fox to look to watch. I don't need to watch this new thing. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It depends. I lean more towards like, just let the classics stand alone. I mean, I was just thinking about this as I was listening to Dave, especially when we talk about just the budgets, how they seem to be resetting now, and they're not just blowing the roof off, with these, monstrous budgets for these movies and stuff like that. if we're gonna basically do a correction, if you will, on budgets, look at why these things are classics to begin with. Why were they classics? They had the writing nailed down. They had the talent done. They had the talent behind the camera. They had like grade A crews that really cared about the story and really put everything they had in every single shot. You know, they didn't need CGI to do this. They didn't need all these major special effects or these big names or whatever. Because remember these classics, these people that you remember, their names now, they weren't back then. So why don't instead of like trying to like reawaken these classics, how about we try and create new classics? How about we try and do that? Start with a limited budget, but get the story right. I mean, I know you get people that say like, well, you're biased because you're a screenwriter or whatever. Well, damn it, that's where it starts. If you don't have a damn good story worth telling, then everything else just falls to the wayside. If you have that kind of story in hand, why not give it like the real care and love that it needs? And who knows? You could have a new classic. You could have a new franchise. Why doesn't these studios and executives realize that? Stop trying to, hold on to what's been. Start something new and make a name for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. You guys make a good point about that.
I'm assuming that the Die Hard movies that made us on Netflix is obviously accurate. And you kind of forget Bruce Willis was on Moonlighting. He was not an action guy. And they said after the first poster for Die Hard was the classic one of McClane with the gun and the building in the background. And after the teasers hit and everyone was like, people were laughing in the theaters and Bruce Willis was like this action guy. They took him off the poster. It was just Bruce Willis Die Hard and a picture of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out and it's the template for the action movie for the next decade. And then Speed, Die Hard on a bus. Snakes on a plane, Die Hard in a plane. Like it became the thing up until The Matrix became the next thing for the next decade.
Yeah.
So people need to stop swinging for the fences and, like Rob said, like go back to telling good stories.
100%. All right, guys, let's go to our favorite part now, the trivia time. And now, Dave, I'm going to start with you since we were just talking about Bruce Willis.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to start with you. In Die Hard, what was the name of the building?
The Nakatomi Plaza.
Nakatomi Plaza. Yes, that was it. All right, Rob. In Goonies, what was the name of the pirate whose treasures they were searching for?
Oh, One-Eye Willie.
Very good. One-Eye Willie. All right, Dave. In Gremlins, what are the 3 strict rules?
No sunlight, don't get mogwais wet, and they can't feed them after midnight.
Excellent. Very good.
Did you guys see that McKenna Grace has recently been on a podcast saying she's been cast as Phoebe Spengler in the next Gremlins movie?
I heard that. Is that true?
Are you serious?
I mean, I heard that. I don't know.
I want to say.
I got chills.
This is another way you can take a legacy property and like do something crazy with it.
I like that.
I heard that. I was like, wow, I did hear that. I was like, Jesus, is that true? Is it possible? But she said it. So she said it. So we say she wasn't. All right. Rob, in The Never Ending Story, what was the name of Atreyu's horse?
Artax.
Very good. Very good. All right. Dave, in the movie Beastmaster, Dar had a special ability. What was it?
I don't know. I don't even think I saw Beastmaster.
Oh,
Rob,
my God.
Rob, what was it?
Oh, with a special ability.
In Beastmaster.
I mean, wait.
In the movie Beastmaster, what was the special?
I'm sorry. You got Beastmaster. That movie's ridiculous.
It's a classic 80s movie, though. I watched it many times as a kid.
Oh, my God. I mean, what? The talking to the animals, right?
Yeah. Talking to the
animals. It was Conan meets Dr. Dolittle. That's how ridiculous that movie is.
I remember it being ridiculous. I feel like it's Beastmaster is to He-Man is what GoBots was to Transformers.
Correct.
Oh, man. That's high praise.
All right. Dave, in the movie Flash Gordon, what sport does Flash play?
Oh.
Sam Jones. What was he? What was his profession?
He was a football player?
Correct. Very good. Very good.
New York Jets.
Yeah. New York Jets. He played for the Jets. Yes. We could probably use him right now.
Yeah, great.
Exactly. All right. Rob, in Bloodsport, what was the secret fighting tournament's name?
Oh God.
Come on. You know this. In Bloodsport.
Wow. Yeah, right. Was it like literally Bloodsport?
Yeah. Oh, it was.
I'm not gonna remember this.
It was more
Like Death Tournament. I don't know. It's not Mortal Kombat.
The Kumite.
The Kumite.
The Kumite.
That's right.
Well, don't you serve that at parties? Isn't that the vegetable plate? Oh, it's the crudité. I'm sorry.
Crudité. That's awesome.
All right. Dave, in Weird Science, what do Gary and Wyatt wear on their heads during the experiment?
Bras.
Very good. Very good. All right. All right. Now, Rob, you answered this question last week, but I'm going to give you a little bit different version of it. In Stand By Me, what were the kids were searching for? A dead body. You got that one. Do you remember the dead body's name? Who was the boy's name?
Oh, that is some good one. I'm not going to get this. It's been forever since I've seen that movie.
Ray Brower. Ray Brower. You remember it now? Ray Brower.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Dave, in The Last Dragon.
I was going to say Tiny Tim.
Yeah. Dave, in The Last Dragon, the main character's name was what?
Oh, Leroy.
I gotta give it to you. You got the name. It's right there. Last name was Leroy. You said it.
Bruce Leroy. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
You got the glow. You had the glow coming from there.
Like Leroy Jetson.
Yeah. All right, guys. By the way, guys, did you guys see Frankenstein? I know we talked about that. I mean, you saw some of it, everything. I thought that was a really good movie, by the way. One of my
I started watching it. I think I'll try to finish it. I just fell asleep because it was late. I think we had just finished watching Predators.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, let's put this on because it was on, and I forget when it came out, but I feel like this was supposed to be good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I got to watch it this week. That's my guy, Guillermo, man. I got to watch his work. So yeah, this week
really,
for sure.
Really good, guys. You should really. I mean, it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I watched it twice already, and it was really good.
All right.
Yep, one of my favorites. Probably my favorite between Pan Labyrinth and this one. I don't know, but it was really good, man.
Better than when De Niro was Frankenstein, right?
Yes. Okay. And it has a great story, and just the way the roles reverse, and it's a part one from the creator's standpoint, and then part two from the creature's standpoint. So it's really great how he does it.
Oh, I'm sold. Yeah, I'm in.
Yep. All right, guys. We will see you guys next week. Another great week, guys. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Body builder coding. Hands on the